Okay. Yes. So let us start exponential smoothing method. In the last lecture, we have discussed this exponential smoothing method. So here only one formula. I will take revision because we have to take a problem today based on exponential smoothing also and based on the weighted average, moving weighted average also. Okay, so just one problem you can see here, or one just formula. So f of t, for which you want to calculate the forecast, ft minus 1. Let us assume that this is for January. So forecast for January is equal to forecast for December 1 minus alpha into alpha plus alpha into dt minus 1, demand for that particular time December. So you should have demand for December, you should have demand forecast for December, and you should have the factor alpha, so that you will be in a position to calculate f of t. Okay, based on this, in the last lecture we have solved this numericals also. So in the last lecture, if you see, and we have calculated error. So error is nothing but the observed value, or you can say demand and forecast difference is nothing but error. And which method is better? Ultimately, friends, we can see the method is better which is having the lesser error. So lesser is the error, better is the method. So we have calculated the error for all the cases, and then average we have taken. Then by using second alpha, we have calculated the error for all, and we have gone for this calculation of summation of error or average error, and then based on the lesser error we have concluded that that particular method is better. So now friends, let us start. Next problem we will go for. So this problem, in this problem, this is a combination of two methods. So we will use the forecast by exponential method also, and we least square method. It means whatever the previous we have discussed about this least square method, that also we will take, that simple moving average. Okay, so estimate the forecast for the year 2000 using the exponential smoothing forecast. Take alpha 0.5. This is for method number 2. Okay, now forecast for the year 95 as 160 units. Compare the forecast with least square method. So we have to calculate the forecast by using least square method, and then we will go for calculation of the forecast by exponential smoothing method. The data required for this particular exponential smoothing method. See, the data required for this alpha and the 95 forecast is also given, and this is actual demand. So this data up to this line, we estimate up to 160 unit. This is for exponential smoothing method, and whatever the data is given, we can calculate this forecast by using least square method also. So let us proceed further. We will go for the first point, that our first method, that is least square. So friends, least square method, whatever that it is given, year 95, 96, 97, 98, 99. So here it is written 1995, 1996, 97, 98, 99. Okay, so sales is given 180, 168, 159, 170, 180. Sales for year 195, 180. Sales for year 96, 168, like this. Sales is also written. Now try to remember the method in which we have least square method. So here are 5 numbers. So we have discussed 2 approaches. If there is a odd number, the middle you can take as the 0 for deviation, and we will take -1, -2, +1, +2. If here is even number, then we have to assume the in between number as a 0.5. So this type 2, 3 numericals we have already taken. So here let us first go for summation of y. So friends, tell me summation of n. So this is n is equal to 5. Let us go for summation of y. Go for calculation and tell me what is summation of y. Be fast. 160, 180 plus 168 plus 159 plus 170 plus 188. What is the value? Put in the chat box. We will calculate summation of y. Then deviation. This is there are 5 numbers. So middle number 0. This is -1, -2. Then +1, an ultimate summation x0, then we will go for x square, then we will go for xy, and ultimately friends what we will do here, we have to put a curve line, or we have to put an equation. So y is equal to a plus bx. So there are formulas by using which we can calculate a value, by using which we can calculate b value, and then I will put y is equal to a plus bx, and for whatever year I want to calculate the forecast, I will proceed. So like these numericals we have already taken. So calculate summation of y. It 65. Okay. So I will mention here the value. Then calculate summation of xy. I have already mentioned the value. X square I have written. So summation x square I have written xy. So we are having the value of x. We are having the value of y. I have mentioned xy also. So calculate summation xy. Now summation y. The answer is already mentioned. So 865. So I will mention here the value. Summation y is equal to 865 summation xy. What is the value for summation xy? Then further we are having formulas for a and b. We will use the formula and we will proceed further. Okay, very good. So this value summation xy is 18. Let us proceed further. Okay, so all the values are with me. Summation y, summation x square, and summation xy. So let us proceed further. Okay, so I will calculate a, I will calculate b. So let us calculate a and let us calculate b. So here you can mention the value of a here. 865 divided by 5, and you can calculate the value of b. And summation xy divided by x square, 18 by 10. So you can easily say it is 1.8. No problem. What is value of a? Value of b I will write down as it is. 18 divided by 10, it is 1.8. 865 divided by 5, it is 173. And now we are having the equation y is equal to a plus bx. So I can write here y is equal to a. So 173 plus bx. B is 1.8 into x. Now, friends, this is the straight line equation. Y is equal to a plus bx. Now, for whatever year you want to calculate the value, you can just proceed further and you can tell the further answer. Okay, so up to this. Now let us proceed further. So next is again very simple. So next what I have done, I have just y is equal to a plus bx. I have used the formula, and by using the formula, now x, only x value I have to go for. So x for 2000. So here you see x value for 1998 is 1. X value for 1999 is 2. I want to calculate for 2000. So x value for 2000 will be 3. So just the value 173 plus 1.8 a plus b into x. The x value for 2000 is already mentioned here as 3. Therefore, just substitute the value that for year 2000 x is equal to 3, and just putting in the formula you will get the answer as y for 2000 178.4 units. This is the answer, friends, that you have calculated by using the first method. This is the answer you have calculated by regression method. Very, very important. Now let us proceed for the further. Okay, the same calculation, same thing we have to go for the another method. So we have to calculate the demand for year 2000 by using the exponential smoothing method. So let us calculate this exponential smoothing method. So what is the formula? The formula is all mentioned here. You can see the formula. So here you can see f of t. For what period you want to calculate f t minus 1? The last period forecast, the last period demand, and alpha is the factor. Okay, so here alpha given 0.5, forecast for the year as 160. So it is given. So you can refer in the problem. Demand, these all values are given in the numerical. Okay. Forecast for the first year, that is 1995, is given 160. Now you can use the formula f of t. F of t for 1996 is equal to f of t minus 1, 160 into bracket 1 minus alpha plus alpha into this 180, actual demand 180 taken. So you can calculate here what is the answer. Then this answer is reflected here. So I can say this, you will get the answer as 170. Then for 1997, what is the forecasted demand? So again here, this 170 value. So 170 into bracket 1 minus 0.5, actual demand 0.5 into 168. So if I am calculating for 1997, I will refer the data for 1996. If I am calculating for 1998, I will refer the data like this. So in this way, you can proceed, and the answers are already here mentioned. These are nothing but the answers of previous steps. So you can mention here, this is 169. If you go for calculation of year 1998, so previous year forecast 169 into bracket 1 minus alpha plus 0.5 into previous year demand. So you can see here 159, and you will get the answer as 164. For year 1999, this 164 previous year forecast into 1 minus 0.5 plus 0.5 into 170 as the last year demand. So you will get this answer as 167. And at last, now this calculation is required from you, friends. So 167, the last year forecast 1999 into bracket 1 minus alpha 1 minus 0.5 plus alpha into 0.5 into last year demand 188. So now this will be your answer for Y 2000 based on this method. Calculate. So this last thing is only required to calculate. All other calculations I have already mentioned. And then here comparison is not asked. Still you can go for your understanding purpose that what is the difference between these two and whether they are nearer or closer or not. Okay. Calculate this answer. Demand for the year 2000 based on exponential smoothing method. So 167 as the forecast for 1999 into 1 minus 0.5 plus 0.5 into 188. Okay, Pranay, 177.5. So I will write the answer. $177.5. What is asked? You can see here 177.5. Okay, this is your I can say the last step because what that is only asked. So here last is 178.4, and what is asked in the numerical? Compare the forecast. So this is the forecast 178.4 by the first method. Okay, what is first method? Least square method, and second by exponential smoothing 177.5. Just a comparison, and that's enough. The problem is over. So before proceeding further, this is the comparison, and you can, if you want to highlight, you can again highlight that by this method answer is this much, and by another method answer is this much. Okay, so this is about exponential smoothing method. Okay, friends, let us proceed further. Simple numericals in forecasting. Numericals will be asked. there are chances that for 1 mark or 2 mark also objective type questions, the last year demand and last year forecast and alpha is given, and just only any one calculation it can be asked, or any other method like simple moving, again very simple calculation, that also can be asked for 1 or 2 marks. Only one calculation, and now here we are solving complete numerical, so that can be asked. Okay, so causal forecast method, friends. Let us move further. This is the next method, causal forecast method. So immediately we will discuss what is in, and if there is a numerical, again we will go for solving the numerical immediately. So causal methods try to identify the factors which causes the variation of the demand, and try to establish relationship between demand and these factors. So here now, up till now, we have seen different methods. So here in this method, factors are identified which causes the variation in demand. For example, the demand is 1000. Next month demand is 950. Next month demand is 970. So why this variation 1000, 970, 950, 930, 900, again 1050. So some rise, some fall like this. So why this is happening? Which are the factors which causes the variation? So this method try to identify these factors and to establish a relationship with this factor and demand. What is the relationship? Analyst tries to identify those factors that best explain the level of sales. Again, there are many factors. So some factors are very prominent, significant, and some of the factors have very lesser effect. So analysts try to explain that which are the most important, or which will best explain the level of sales. The objective of this method is to establish the cause and effect relationship. Cause and effect, this is the cause, and this is having direct impact on this relationship. This is the cause, again let it be decline, so this is the effect on relationship. So cause and effect relationship between changes in sales level of product. Sales level, again same example, 1000 sales, 950, 970, 1050, 930. So this is the sales level of any product. So establishing the cause and effect relationship. If it is 930, what are the causes and how it is affecting 930? If it is 150, or sorry, 1050, again what are the causes and how it is affecting? So cause and effect relationship between the changes sales level of the product, changes in sales level, that is very important. Okay, so there are different approaches. Causal methods, regression and correlation analysis, input output analysis, end use analysis, based on the intention of the method and intention of the analyst for what it is used. So these are the different methods. So there is one method that we will study. So regression and correlation. So it is a forecasting technique that establishes the relationship between variables. So this is a, there are many variables which vary, and it is having the effect on the output. This is variable. Historical data establishes a functional relationship between two variables. So any two variables may be there, and it is having the effect on sales. So any two variables you can take: change in atmosphere, the demand, the festival, the new aspects in that particular bike, again the interest generated, whatever. There are many factors that you can take. There are many variables that you can take. Again, change in the era now in the month of March, a budget will be declared. Again, rapid increase or decrease in the budget, and you might have seen that if you purchase this machine up to 31st of, let it be washing machine, let it be any television, etc., etc. So if you purchase this bike or this TV set or this machine, washing machine, whatever, you will get this at 28,000, because this type of GST and something like this. And if you will purchase it on 1st of April, whatever the applicable is there, you have to pay 6,000 more. So again, you observe that without any festival or any other reasons. So this is the one of the factor that you can consider as this increase in the sales. And we might have seen like this in last 2-3 years many times, that whatever the, for example, sudden increase in the taxes. This is one of the very which you can say different factor, but just for your better understanding, I am trying to correlate. So this is the establishing the relationship between variables. historical data establishes the functional relationship. So whatever data we are having in the previous year, let it be 1 year, 2 year, 3 year, and what is the relationship? This point increases, this point decreases, this point increases, this decreases. So it is explaining the relationship. Types of correlation. So here positive and negative correlation is there. Then simple and multiple correlation is there. Linear and non-linear correlation is there. So here we can have some more insight in this. So let us say positive and negative correlation. For example, positive, one of the factor increases, another is again increasing. I can call it as this positive correlation. Again, one of the factor increases, the other factor decreasing. I can call it as negative correlation. Okay, so this is positive and negative. So one you will observe increase, or you can say like this increase, and in other case you can observe decrease. So like this you can call it as this positive and negative correlation. Then simple and multiple correlation. Simple correlation, you can say that only one factor is having, for example, any one factor you take, the increase in that factor, the sales increases. And multiple correlations, it is having the impact of different factors which are required to be taken in our account as per as that condition is considered. So only one factor is involved, you can call it as a simple correlation. And if there are many factors that involved in this particular sales correlation, you can call it as multiple correlation. Then linear and non-linear. Again, I will take the help of graph. So let it be like this. Let it be like this. Or let it be somewhat like this. Then again some, and again like this. Whatever may be the case. So this straight line, or you can say exhibits that y is equal to a plus bx. For some of the reason it may be different. This is the one of the critical example. But and non-linear, so y is equal to ax square plus bx cube dy by dx square, something like that. So you can, this is neither parabola or something higher equations or orders like this, you will get this type of, so you cannot fit a straight line equation for this particular case. So you can call this as the non-linear correlation. So these are some of the we can say type of correlations. And let us proceed further. So coefficient of correlation, very important. See, there are these different aspects that are required to be discussed. So now 3-4 different pointers are there. I request you to wherever possible or wherever formulas are there. So you should write the formulas. It will be helpful for calculation. So coefficient of correlation, the degree of relationship is called correlation. How this one parameter is correlated with other, the degree of relationship. If one parameter is changing, there is change in the sales, you can assume that 80%, 95%, a higher degree of correlation. And change in one of the factor, the sales is increasing by 5%, 3%, very, I can say, lesser degree of correlation. So this is degree of relationship is called as correlation. It is a single figure which expresses the degree and direction of correlation is called coefficient of correlation. Another new term is there, coefficient of correlation. So it is a single figure which expresses the degree and direction. How that one particular factors or relationship is there, and how strong the correlationship is there. Increase in one of the parameters. So let us take here. Okay, so before proceeding further, let us take here one of the example. I will try to give this example here, not in terms of sales. Let us take very simple example, as I am giving this example for better understanding. So lathe machine and discerning operations, and whatever the different operations that that can be possible by using discerning, yet you all are familiar. So the coefficient of correlation, I can say, you are doing turning operation, then your output is material removal rate. Then if you take this material removal rate and if you want to establish the relationship with verify depth of cut, lesser depth of cut, lesser MRR, higher depth of cut, higher MRR, feed, lesser MRR, higher feed, higher MRR, speed, again you can go for establishing the relationship, but the highest degree you can give to depth of cut, and then some in somewhat lesser percentage again you can express it with this feed and speed also. But if there is a you can say slight play in the tailstock, somewhat error in the slide ways and guide ways, then the tool sharpness, whatever the tool nose radius is required, for example 0.3 r, so it is not 0.3 r, it is 0.25 r. So these are the very you can say small factors, or tool wear rate. Okay, so these are the some of the factors which is having the impact on material removal rate. Definitely, no problem. Or the inherent error in the machine, somewhat vibration in the machine, and some inherent characteristics of the machine. Okay, so definitely this factor having the weightage. But if I want to give this play and these other factors and the inherent factors, whatever the weightage, as compared to depth of cut. So depth of cut, I can say coefficient of correlation 0.95, etc. But if I will take any other factor, I will say 0.05. So this I want to give more clarity. Therefore, we have taken this example, friends. This is coefficient of correlation. Okay, let us see this formula. Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation. So gamma is equal to summation dx dy. So this under root is complete, divided by under root of, this is complete under root, summation dx square, summation dy. So now what is dx, what is dy, that is also mentioned, and we will take one numerical in which you will come to know that what is this dx dy and what is x bar and how it is calculated and how gamma is to be calculated. So like this we will take one numerical also. So Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation is equal to summation dx dy divided by summation dx square into summation dy square. This term is in under root. Okay, so dx is equal to deviation of items of variable x from its arithmetic mean. So x values, for example, assume that 10 x values are given. So very first you have to calculate the arithmetic mean, and x minus x bar you will calculate as dx. Then dy, deviation of item of variable y from its arithmetic mean. X value, 9 values are there, y also 9 values will be there. So very first step you have to go for the calculation of this arithmetic mean, and then y minus y bar, it is a dy. And once we will calculate this dx and dy, summation of this dx, summation of dy, we can easily calculate the factor gamma. So just write down this formula and immediately we will proceed for one numerical. So gamma, the Karl Pearson's coefficient of correlation is given by gamma is equal to summation dx dy divided by under root of summation dx square into summation dy square. Okay, so let us proceed for one numerical. Okay, so in this numerical, the following data relates the cost of production and sales price. So what is given here in one of these, it is the cost is given and sales price is given. It is for this 1996, 97, 1998, 99, 90, 91, 92, 93, 94. For these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 9 years, the data is given. The data is given for 9 years. The cost value is given and the price value is given. And what is establish the coefficient of correlation between cost and price? What is the coefficient of this correlation between this cost and price? That is, we have to calculate the value of gamma. We have already discussed the formula. Now let us make this in tabular form. So this cost I will okay. So this is one of the table. I have mentioned all the tried to mention all the values as far as all values are concerned, and some of the calculations I have kept for you. Okay. So here, very first, this cost values and price values. So whatever 203, 216, etc., and price value 225. So all the cost values you can see, it is written here. So you can see here all the whatever 9 years cost values are given. It is mentioned all the price values are given. So it is X, it is Y. Vary factor. So it is summation X, it is calculated, summation Y is calculated. My first target is to calculate X bar and Y bar, because dx is nothing but X minus X bar, means this 203 minus whatever the value is there. So my first target is to calculate X bar and here Y bar, or you can say just arithmetic mean, no problem. So addition of all these divided by total number. Okay, so let us go for calculation, verify the arithmetic mean of all the variables. Okay, so arithmetic mean, already it is the sum is there, 2279 divided by 9. So I will calculate this value, and here the X bar you will get the value as 252.6. Okay, arithmetic mean of Y. So already summation of all Y is taken. Okay, summation Y 2482 divided by 9. So you will get the value as 275.8. So I have calculated X bar and Y bar. Now let us move to this scale. So I will mention here for your ready reference the value of X bar and Y bar. So I will write down here X bar is equal to, this is nothing but 2273 divided by total 9. I am just taking the average. Therefore, X bar is equal to 252.6. And here I will say Y bar is equal to 2482 divided by 9. So I will take this Y bar is equal to 275.8. Okay, so these are the values. Friends, now we have to calculate all these. So dx, first case, X minus X bar, 203 minus 252.6. You will get answer minus 49.6. 216 minus X bar, 252.6. You will get 36. Like this. 223 minus 252.6. You will get this value. 239 minus 252.6. You will get this value. Minus 252.6. You will get this value. 253 minus 252.6. You will get 0.4. 279 minus 252.6. This is your dx is equal to X minus X bar. I have calculated these all values as dx. Okay, these all value as dx. Okay, now summation of dx is not required to me. I will not go for, actually dx dy I have to go for product, and then summation of dx dy, that product is required. Okay, so now friends, Let us move for this y calculation. So 225 minus y bar 275.8. So it is minus 50.8. Similarly, 242 minus y bar 275 and you 0.8, you will get 33.8 minus 250 minus 275.8, you will get 25.8 minus 271 minus 275.8, you will get minus 4.8. 275 minus 275.8, you will get minus 0.8. 277 minus 275.8, you will get this value 1.2. And similarly, 295 minus 275.8, 19.2. 318 minus 275.8, 42.2. 329 minus 275.8, 53.2. So in this way, friends, we have calculated all these values as this dx and dy. Dx and dy nothing but very first we have calculated the x bar and y bar, and then x minus x bar, you will get the dx value for that particular case, and y minus y bar, you will get that y value for that particular case. Now dx is with you, dy is with you. So 49.6 into 50.8, both minus. So you will get here the value. So next step, just multiply this, you will get this value. 36.6 into 33.8, you will get this value. 29.6 into 25.8, dx dy. 13.6 into 4.8, it is there. Minus 4.6 into minus 0.8, you will get this value. So like this, multiply, you will get this value. Okay. So my next step is I have calculated these different values for dx into dy. What is required in the formula? We know summation dx dy, summation dx square, and summation dy square. So first step, I will go for summation of all these. So now all the calculations I have mentioned. So let us go for the calculation, that summation dx dy. So just to go for addition of all, just to go for addition of all. So you will call this as summation of dx into dy. Okay, you will get here the value. Okay, so what will be that summation dx dy? Okay, I will check. 10246.12. Very good. Okay, 10246. So I will mention here 10246.24. Okay, now friends, dx square. So this is the value of dx. I will go for 49.6 square, and I will mention the value here. 36.6 square, 29.6 square, 13.6 square. So I am just taking the dx value and making the square. 4.6 square, 0.4 square, 0.16, 26.4 square, 48.4 square, and 58.2 square. So these are the different values. Just again, let's go for addition of these all, and then I will proceed for dy square. So 50.8, this minus, if you take square, it will not be there. So it will become a plus value. So 50.8, this is your summation y square. 33.8 square, 225.8, it is 665.64. 4.8 square, 23.04. 0.8 square, 0.64. So in this way, all y is written. Now just calculate this summation of dx and summation of dy square. So summation of dx square, tell me here one value, and summation of dy square, tell another value. Then we can proceed for this last step of this calculation. You can say this coefficient of correlation we can calculate. What is the value? Summation of dx square and summation of dy square. Okay, so here it is 11332.24 and summation of ds square 9393.56. So friends, now you have calculated this value of summation dx dy, summation dx square and summation dy square. Let us proceed for the last step. So very simple. This is the last step. You can see we are having the value of, I will mention these values. So summation dx dy. So this is the summation dx dy that you have calculated 10246. I have mentioned here the value under root of summation dx square. So this is your summation dx square. So this is your value and this is summation dy square. So here I have mentioned this another value and here I have mentioned this value. So if you mention all these value, you will get the final answer as this gamma, coefficient of correlation between the variables, that is cost and the sales, is 0.99. Is 0.99 and it is 0.99. I will comment on this as one is the last point. One means 100% correlation. So this is 0.99. We can say again here, I will mention the word, you can say very close correlation between cost and price. Very close correlation between cost and price. Like this friends, the numerical will be asked and you should be in a position to calculate this.